living in a former tuberculosis hospital in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. When I was a kid, I lived with my grandma for a while, and her house was an extremely weird place. The house was dome-shaped and had some very absurd architectural designs. A 15 feet deep hole in the backyard, a staircase leading down to nowhere, the house flooding for no reason. The whole place just had a surreal vibe. This house was right outside the Navajo reservation in a very isolated part of New Mexico, though we did have two neighbors who had built ranches up there recently, super rich old people. My grandma's place was built sometime in the 19th century. According to my grandma, it was originally built to treat tuberculosis patients when TB was really bad in New Mexico. I was pretty young, but I'll never forget what I saw up there. The shower had a small round window that looked into the living room. I thought that was cool as I would wave to my grandma while showering, but I quickly became afraid of it. One day, me and my grandma were playing cards in the living room and a large handprint appeared on the shower window. I pointed to it and this freaked even my grandma out, who promptly got up and sagged the place. This couldn't have been my handprint as I was a little kid and this handprint was huge and lanky. My second experience, the house had an upstairs level, but it only covered half of the ceiling. Think of an indoor balcony. This is where me and my grandma would sleep as the bathroom was the only actual room in the house. One night, I had a dream that an invisible force had picked me up and thrown me off the upstairs level, which was a big fear of mine. I woke up before I hit the ground and, guess where I was? Laying on the first floor, underneath the edge of the upstairs level. It would have been a pretty big fall. But I had no pain. Another experience, I was out in the backyard playing, and our swing started swinging very fast and violently. There was no wind, and my grandma's horses became extremely spooked before this even started happening, and were trying to escape their pen. Weird experiences after buying painting. I bought a painting at a thrift store of a beautiful young angel a few months ago. I was immediately drawn to it, which is not typical for me. I am not into art or angels. I hung it up in my bedroom the same day I bought it. The next morning when I woke up, the living room lights were on. I thought that was strange that I would not have noticed I left them on when I went to bed, since I can see my living room from my bedroom and would notice if the lights were on. The next night, I made sure they were off when I went to bed. Sure enough, the next morning they were on again. Same thing happened the next night. This time I woke up around 3 a.m. and could see from my bed the living room lights were on again. After that third night I never had an issue again. So, I chalked it up to some type of electrical thing and it being a coincidence with the painting. Although the lights never turned on automatically during the day, just while I was asleep. Then just the other day, I was in my bedroom putting laundry away and the painting started swinging. Like it was very, very noticeable. I just sort of stared at it watching it and then it just stopped. That has never happened before. Nothing could have hit it, there were no breezes or drafts. It was really, really swinging. Not sure what to think. I don't get a bad feeling from it. I should mention I live by myself, so on one could have turned the lights on after I went to bed or moved the painting. I can't tell if this is real or if I'm having a psychotic break. This will probably be a long post. Sorry in advance. I also did not proofread, so sorry for any mistakes. But for a little bit of a backstory and context, I am 23F and I am diagnosed bipolar. I've never had a severe episode of mania. I've always been very sure of what is real and what is not, but some things have happened that make me wonder if I'm experiencing something paranormal, or if it could be somehow related to my mental illness and it's in my head. When I was a kid, my mother, who recently passed away, always told me she was sensitive to paranormal things. She had claimed to see things, hear things, feel things. As a kid and teenager, I assumed she was full of it. I'm interested in the paranormal, but I've always been a bit of a skeptic, and if I'm being honest, it scares me. So, I said, okay mom, whatever you say. As I've gotten older, I feel like in a way, maybe I'm sensitive to things too. I've never really seen anything per se. But I feel like I sense things and hear things. And it makes me incredibly paranoid. I try to ignore it as much as I can. The past year I've had a few experiences. Loud noises and bangs in my house with no cause. Things moving. Sounds of footsteps. Feeling like I'm not alone. My husband laughs it off and assumes there is a logical reason for everything. And maybe there is. Like I said, I'm a skeptic. But for example, though, one day I came home and found my flower vase, that I keep on the kitchen table, sitting upright in the kitchen sink. Checked my house and all my doors and windows were locked. My husband was at work. No one was in the house. I convinced myself maybe I had done it and forgot. I can be forgetful sometimes. I came home from work one night, went in the kitchen to grab some food, and heard a loud bang directly above me, in our guest room. I mean a loud, unmistakable crash. It sounded to me, in that moment, like some sort of furniture had fallen over. Maybe the top part of my dresser, with the mirror attached, had fallen off. Scared the shit out of my cat too. I run upstairs, and find my husband sound asleep in our room. Go in the guest room? Nothing fell. I checked the closets, and bathrooms. No one there. It didn't even wake my husband. Okay. I'm tired. I'm imagining things. But then why did it scare the cat too? Fast forward to today. I'm sitting in my living room. I have headphones in. But I hear a shuffling noise. I pause the TikTok I'm watching, take out my headphone and look around. Nothing. The TV is off. My husband is napping. The house is quiet. But it happens again. My cat hears it. She gets up and literally runs to hide behind the couch. I've never seen her hunker down in fear before, but she did just that. She hid, and I get up to look around because I still hear the shuffling. It sounds like it's coming from across the room, but nothing is there. My cat eases out from behind the couch and is crouched down, hair sticking out and tail fluffed, and starts slowly creeping over to check it out. It's several minutes later now, but she's still sitting with me staring at the corner, growling occasionally. I'm starting to feel like I can't ignore this anymore. I'm in therapy, and I'm medicated, and my therapist always asks, "Are you seeing things? Hearing things?" But I'm afraid to say yes because he'll think I'm losing it. And what if I am? I work night audit at a hotel, and about a week ago I kept hearing clear, distinct voices. For context, it was very late. Maybe 2 to 3 in the morning. We only have 3 rooms on the ground floor, as well as the front desk and office area, the dining room, the kitchen, the meeting room, the pool, the gym, and the laundry room. And a little vending area. I went and checked every room just to see if someone was down there because again, it's the middle of the night. Usually, I don't see anyone until at least 5 a.m., apart from the occasional straggler looking for a snack. But, there was no one. I checked the whole ground floor. No one. And it sounded like they were right outside the door to the office area. I say, okay. It's late. I'm getting tired. And I've definitely watched too many scary videos. It's so quiet down here and I'm easily spooked, so my mind is just playing tricks on me. But what if it's not? There have been so many small things. Small occurrences, and I brushed them off. I thought about the possibility of a haunted house, but then how would I hear things at work too? And why would my pets react? So, then I consider. Could I be experiencing a psychosis? Should I tell my therapist? Or should I call a priest? A lot has happened in the last month. My mom died, I had a miscarriage, and I found out I can't go to school because I'm not eligible for a loan. Maybe it's stress sending me into a bipolar episode? Is any of it real? Am I imagining things? What's worse, it being real and somehow paranormal, or it being a psychotic break? I don't know. Do I tell my therapist and risk being institutionalized or medicated out of my mind? Do I continue to ignore it? I feel like I'm going crazy. This is the only place I know where to talk about it without sounding completely batshit. I should also say I'm bipolar too, and I don't have full-fledged mania. For me it's always been more depression and anger than anything else, with a little hypomania sprinkled in here and there. Subscribe to our channel, so you won't miss out any of our future videos. Thank you for your support. This is Reddit Joe Channel, your everyday Reddit.